granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
Hello. Well, the Labour Party is now in full panic mode. It suddenly occurred to them that their headlong rush into appeasing the worst aspects of Islamism, tolerating marches which can be described only as anti-Jew hate fests, promising to recognise a fictitious state of monstrous sadists, trying to introduce an Islamophobia law that really is just a blasphemy law that applies only to Islam, and refusing to prosecute acts of anti-Semitic threats. All of that is making the Jews of these islands somewhat nervous. It's not as if this hasn't happened before now, is it? I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. If you're on YouTube, check that you are still subscribed. YouTube is playing funny, silly stuff again, and I'm not the only one who's talking about that. All right, if you want to help me financially, that's lovely. Don't hurt yourself doing that, but if you do want to, well, hang on, it's that way, isn't it? Right. In the description, there are all the links you need. Okay, so just to refresh your memories about the way the Labour Party has been acting, let's compare the treatment Lucy Connolly got for a social media post in which she said that she couldn't care less if a migrant hotel was burnt down, as against these charming gentlemen who drove through a Jewish area. Well, I'll let them speak for themselves.
Fuck the movement, fuck all of us, fuck the mothers, fuck the daughters, and show them support for Palestine. Shut them out, rape the daughters, if we have to send a message like that.
That was an instruction, not I don't care if the daughters are sexually interfered with. Let's do it, yeah? And they drove through Golders Green, calling in this way for the rape of the women there. And Lucy Connolly, who, as I said she didn't care if a migrant hotel got burnt down. She got nearly 3 years in jail, while these guys were stopped and questioned, and then the case was dropped for lack of evidence. If you don't think that sort of skewed application of the law involved some political interference and heavy appeasement to the Muslim vote, then you probably believe that ad that keeps popping up on my YouTube feed about one pair of glasses to deal with all lengths of focus. And now the Manchester event, where a Muslim fanatic turned up outside Heaton Park Synagogue and caused a great deal of tragedy. And suddenly the Labour Party has woken up. Goodness me, they thought, what's happening? Jews are talking about leaving the country. They don't think it's safe here. It's not so much that the Labour Party's bothered about Jews in the country. I have an idea they regard Jews as something of a nuisance in many ways, as they get in the way of that juicy Muslim vote to which the Labour Party thinks it has the divine right and sole monopoly. No. But what's it going to look like on the world stage when all the Jews are queuing up at the airports to leave for, well, America or Israel maybe? And, I remember one prominent YouTuber was talking about going to Argentina, I think. Argentina, of all places. We've already had some high-profile defections, haven't we? There's Melanie Phillips, for example, and that guy who runs the Israel advocacy movement. He said it wasn't safe for him to stay in the UK. He'd had so many death threats. So suddenly the Labour Party has started speaking up. Shabina Mahmood, she of the Free Palestine Demo, who is now the Home Secretary, has started talking about the demonstrations and how terribly anti-Semitic they have become. Of course, she isn't talking about education of the people participating in the demos, nor is she talking about controlling the Muslim fanatics running them or expelling the Hamas organisations that fund these, or even about the Qataris or the Iranians who are behind all of this, nor about the sort of violence preached every Friday in the mosques in this country. No, what she's talking about is restricting free speech and clamping down on the demonstrations. Here in The Guardian, what new plans to curb pro-Palestine action demonstrations? Why not all the foregoing, like the people funding this? Oh, no, just curbing free speech. It's in the context of protecting the Jewish community, but it's really just an opportunity to grab some more government power. They've also brought out the big guns. Come on, Charlie, turn up at the Heaton Park Synagogue and shake a few hands. That should reassure them. You can tell how desperate the government is. The BBC here has run a great big splash on the royal visit with a whole lot of photos. Just look at all of this. There's the king waving, looking at flowers, meeting the chief rabbi, shaking some hands, looking serious, talking to the police, looking serious again. Oh, meeting a group of extremely Orthodox Jews. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it? They're running almost as big a splash on this as they do for a faked Hamas story about an Israeli bombing of yet another Gaza hospital. Well, here it makes great optics, especially for the American audience, and it doesn't cost that much. Nor, I have to point out, does it change a thing? Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.